Waiting on a signal. All right,
there we go.
So welcome to episode 2 officially of Blueberry Season, even though episode 1 just came out today. Unfortunately, because whiz bang and all this crazy stuff going on, our media team was a little bit overwhelmed. But welcome back, everyone. If you've already watched episode 1, then you already know who myself and Clifton are. We are so happy. Wow, I don't know what I just said, but
I think what he means to say is that we are both so incredibly excited to be back for this week's episode of Blueberry Season.
Absolutely. We are extremely hot. We have some amazing guests on this week. Last week, y'all just had to put up with, I say last week because it was last week.
Yeah.
But I guess it would come out today.
But
So
earlier
today, it was just me and Clifton. But now we have two amazing guests joining us. The first guest that we have, or one of the guests that we have, I should say,
Very true.
is Christian. He hails from North Carolina. He works in our Pack and Paddle High Adventure program area. A fun fact about him is he has hiked the entire Appalachian Trail.
That's pretty cool if you ask me.
I think it is pretty cool if you ask him.
I don't think I could have been able to do that.
No.
And then our other guest that we have on today, that's right, 2 guests one time. We're getting Western out here. Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Literally Western, because we have Mr. Theo out here.
Howdy.
From the great state. I don't know why.
Golden State.
Theo Lear is from California. He is from the Los Angeles area, I believe.
Yes, sir.
So, yes.
He also works in our Pack and Paddle High Adventure program area. And a fun fact about him, I guess you could say fun fact, is he has never worn, it's more of a weird fact to me, he has never worn flip-flops a day in his life.
Proud of it.
There we go.
I'm glad you're proud. I don't know. That's just weird to me. Like, so tell me how, like, what are people's initial reaction whenever you tell them you've never worn flip-flops?
A lot of weird looks. You see, it started out as, obviously a lot of people wear flip-flops, especially in California, with the beaches and everything. And eventually, when I was like 10 or so, I just kind of realized that I had never worn flip-flops. And then I made like a commitment for my entire life to be that guy. And also, it gives me an easy out when people ask me, what's your fun fact? I always know it. It'll never change.
That's almost like cheating right there.
Yeah.
But anyways,
there's got to be something more fun about you, Theo.
Yeah.
Well, we will find out later on in this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we've got an amazing jam-packed episode for y'all today. We've got a lot of fun things to talk about. The first thing that I want to jump into is I want to hear from y'all, since y'all both work in our Pack and Paddle program area, or High Adventure area, I should say. I want to hear a little bit about that. I personally have never been able to go out there and shoot y'all, or not shoot y'all, but take pictures of y'all of our Pack and Paddle program. But so tell us a little bit about that. What do y'all do? What does the program entail? All that cool, fun jazz.
Yeah, so as the name suggests, we are doing a lot of backpacking and some whitewater paddling. So we do 5 days out on trek. 4 of those are hiking. 1 is out on the river. We do about, I think, 40 miles of hiking and then another like 7 miles on the river. And yeah, I mean, it's just a great time. I think it's a super great introduction to backpacking. If you're, new to it or, haven't ever done it before, I think we run a really great program. Even people who are more experienced, I think we offer a lot that you might not get on other backpacking trips. Anything to add?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. This is my first year working with this program, and it's one of the newest programs at the Summit. It's only been around for around 3 years, so it's really exciting. Each year we get to introduce some new things and let the scouts know what the Summit is all about. And exactly what Christian said, it's a really good opportunity for those younger scouts with maybe some less experience to get out here. And it's also really neat that they also get to go on the new river, some of the premier whitewater rafting in the entire world. So that's a lot of fun. I've only fallen out a couple of times. So
only a couple?
Yeah, it's a good time.
There we go.
You're in the water. You might as well get wet.
Right. 100%. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So the next thing that I want to do before we get too far into this episode, if you can tell right here on this table, we have some beautiful merch that our retail store, The Bunker, gave us. We have some nice mugs. We've got this nice Columbia shirt. The owl is mine. I just like owls.
Pretty sweet.
Mainly because whenever I went through Woodbedge, I know I'm a little young for Woodbedge, but whenever I went through, I'm an owl, so got to represent the owls. To all you owls out there, I've got your backs.
There we go.
But so shout out to the bunker for all this amazing merch. And crazy enough, if you want to get some merch, go to store.summitbsa.org. And if you use the discount code Blueberry Season, that is spelled BLUEBERRYSZN, you get 25% off across the entire store. So make sure you go check out the bunker. If you do, put in that discount code so that way you get 25% off your entire order. And yeah, I mean, I love the merch.
Absolutely. That's a great deal.
I know I have one of these Columbia shirts, and they are absolutely, it's hands down my favorite piece of Summit merch. They're so comfortable, so breathable, especially on hot days like we've had this week. Man, you put one of them on, it's like wearing nothing. Luckily, you are wearing something. You know.
I would hope we're all.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
This shirt's mine, right? You took this out of my bag.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
We'll get it
Don't
back to
worry.
you.
All right, cool. Thank you.
So, speaking of favorite Summit merch, so what would be if you had to choose one item out of the bunker to be like your thing? Like you're going in, you're buying one thing, what is that one thing that you're going to get from the bunker?
So for me, it is definitely a hat. And this is actually a rare sighting of Theo without a hat on. I almost always wear hats. And the Summit has some amazing hats. Most of them have bears on them. So that's a huge plus because bears are pretty magical creatures. And I love them very much. So absolutely a hat.
Oh, yeah.
And I can attest, this is a very cool, rare sighting of Theo Lear without a hat on. Like
I do indeed have hair.
Theo's a very good friend of mine, and I almost never see him without a hat. I will say I was a little shocked when I just saw this head over because we film in an office building. So when I just saw the blank head over the kill, I was like, oh, who's that over there? And then what do you know? It's Theo.
That's the man, the myth, the legend, as I call him, Mr.
yeah.
But nonetheless.
I know you probably won't ever catch me outside my tent without a hat on, ever.
No, sir. No, sir.
And I love my Summit hat. I know last week I had my Missionary Grove hat on, and I love that hat to death. But hands down, this Summit hat, I bought it just a couple of days after we filmed that episode.
I do like that.
And I mean, I love the design. It's amazing. But it's also very comfortable. It's one of them flex fit hats. Oh,
Nice.
I love it.
Nice.
You can't. I love me a good snapback, but you can't beat a flex fit. It's just hands down amazing. So, Christian, what would be your one piece that you get?
That's easy for me. The hiking sloth shirt. That's
Ooh,
so me. I
that
feel
is a
that shirt
fun
in my
one.
soul. I came into this like, I'm not gonna get any merch this season, and then I saw that shirt. I was like, that's it. I have to get that.
You're like, well, I mean, with you being a hiker, hiking the entire Appalachian Trail, which I want to dive into a little later,
Oh yeah.
because that's awesome. I could never do that. I like my cornbread in my bed too much. You know, so that's definitely a feat in itself, doing the entire Appalachian Trail. So, one, congrats, because I probably would have
thank you.
passed out on the
Thank
trail or
you.
got lost one.
I
always
got
tell
lost a couple
people-
times too.
I always tell people we're never lost because normally I'm driving and I'm like, we ain't lost yet. We got half a tank of gas.
There we go.
We're going to find somewhere. It may not be the right place, but we're going to find somewhere to go.
Yeah, it's not lost. Just taking an alternate route.
Right. That's what I'm
The
saying.
scenic route. The
Yeah,
scenic route.
exactly,
as I would
exactly.
like to
Just
say.
doing some exploring.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, Theo, I know you've been working here for a while. How many seasons have you been here now?
This is season number 8.
Season number 8. So,
Oh,
how
yeah.
many years is that?
So I started working here in summer of 2022, right after I graduated college. I came out here
Mhm.
and then loved it so much. I figured, hey, why don't I stay around? So stuck around in the fall on the program team in our second season. Then I hopped over to actually be a recruiter, which was a lot of fun. Met a lot of interesting, cool people.
Cool people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. absolutely.
Uh, Absolutely.
Uh,
Everybody's cool people around here.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And then then I moved to Summit Bechtel went on program team, or that went through the spring, did summer 2023, then stuck around in the fall again for the program team, and I was the lead for that, which was a really cool experience. And then I actually took the winter off to go back home to sunny California, hung out with my family for a few months, and then came back for the spring, and now
Also went
here
to a
I am.
Kojo concert.
Yes,
About to
I'm a
say,
huge Cody Johnson fan.
How you may tell, man. I love Cody Johnson.
I got you beat. I've been to a few more shows than you.
You have. I've only been to one of his shows, unfortunately.
I've got 5 under my belt.
You're a lucky man. I tell you what. You can ask anybody on the media team. Whenever we get in the car, we're always going to at least listen to one Cody Johnson song. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's a must. If we're not listening to one, I'm not in the car.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Kojo, please sponsor us.
I wish that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
So what initially drew you to the Summit? So you've been working here a while, you know. So what initially drew you? Like, what was your like? Yeah, I'll go hang out there.
Yeah. So the first time I came here was way back in 2016. Theo, young lad, came here for the OA Summit Experience, which is a Order of the Arrow Summit Experience, which is a super cool program. Love it. And then I came back in 2017 as on volunteer staff for the Jamboree, and then I did the same in 2019 for the World Jamboree, and then I went to college, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, for outdoor recreation management, which is kind of right in line with what I do out here. And thankfully, my brother Matthias, shout out, he's pretty involved with the OA, and he knew that there was an opening, so he let me know about it, and then I applied, and was very, very thankful to get in, and now here I am. I loved every second of it.
Absolutely, glad to hear it, man.
Yeah,
I know. Whenever I come here in 2023, for my first season here, you were like one of the first people I seen.
Yeah,
and you just had that big old smiling grin on your face. That's what's so approachable about Theo. You'll never catch that man without a smile on his face.
I love meeting new people.
I don't think I have ever seen Theo without a smile on his face.
Yeah.
I was about to say, and he gives some pretty awesome hugs. Like, I don't know if you I don't know if you've had a hug from Theo, but hey,
Haven't had the honor.
Haven't had the honor,
No.
man.
That's your end of season gift.
End of season gift right there. Oh man. So what about you, Christian? What drew you to the Summit?
So before I had hiked the Appalachian Trail, I was working an office job where I was stuck in Excel all day, just doing analysis and just a bunch of soul draining work. And yeah, after hiking the AT and doing some other stuff, I really thought about what I wanted to do next with my life, and I just realized there's no way I can go back to that type of office job, and I just really wanted to follow something that I was passionate about. So I started getting into the doing different types of outdoor guiding. I had started off as a canopy tour guide down in North Carolina, and I worked as a ski instructor for a while too. I've been skiing since I was like 3 years old, and then but the big thing that I've really been wanting to do is to be a backpacking guide. Was the AT was just such a transformative experience for me, and the idea of being able to one, just have that be my job day in and day out, is being on the trail. And then also just to, get to share my love of being out in nature with kids, and, get to, maybe one day like inspire one of them to go hike the AT or something like that, and just have like a really cool experience like I did. Is just super exciting and, very, very motivating for me. So it's something that I really care about.
Absolutely. That's great to hear, man. So speaking of the Appalachian Trail, I want to dive a little bit into that. So tell us about your experience out there on the Appalachian Trail. What all, just tell us about it. I'm interested to hear your story on that.
So I through hiked the AT in 22. I was living in Austria before that at the time, and like I said, I was working an office job. I decided I wanted to come back to the States, so I quit my job. Got a one-way ticket. Wasn't even sure what I was going to do. I was like, all right, I've been thinking about doing the AT for a while, so it's the perfect opportunity. And it was so hard. It was so hard. But it was the happiest that I've ever been in my life. It's just such a cool community. Like it's a really, really unique community, because it is just this this traveling group of nomads that are just slowly making their way up the coast. And, I've just never been a part of a group of people where everyone else wanted everyone else to succeed as badly as that group. Like there's no competition amongst each other. Everyone is, individually working towards their own goal, but then also at the same time, so ready to do anything they can to help out their fellow thru hikers and all that. And you just get to see so many beautiful views. Especially like once you get up into the Northeast, like New Hampshire, Maine, that whole area is just amazing. And this really wonderful thing is just making all those connections out there with people. Like it is because you're in just such a crazy setting. It feels like everything is so heightened and amplified. Like, even I guess like a month ago now, I ran into two of my friends that I'd met on the AT, and we're saying, "Oh my God, it's so good to see you. Like, this is crazy. Oh my God, like remember when we did this?" And then after like 10 minutes of just like talking and being so excited to see each other, like now that I think about it, we spent one day together on trail. We've known each other for one day, and we are so happy to see each other. And I think that's sort of like kinship that you feel with people, like really just embodies the spirit of the trail.
Oh, absolutely.
That and crying about how much the climbs hurt.
But it's like them mountain hills, even out here, they get a little rough on you.
Oh, I would know.
But it's like you get the pleasure of hiking the entire summit like every week.
Twice a week,
Twice a
actually.
week, yeah.
not to be that rover, but I did the big zip hike twice this week now, and I'm doing it again on Sunday. So
yeah, you should just go do the AT.
I know.
You're prepared. You got it.
I know.
Oh man. So Clifton, you got any questions, man? I feel like I'm asking all the questions.
No, you're fine. I think it would be. This maybe is like kind of a dumb question, but it's like kind of intriguing to me. What was like your favorite like I'm trying to think of how to word this. Sorry, I came a little unprepared this week. But as far as like what was the most like spontaneous thing you think you might have done like on the trail? Because obviously like when you're through hiking, you're kind of like stuck on the trail, but I know that like sometimes like charities or churches will set up like, food stands, or sometimes that like you can just find yourself in, really cool random towns, and like you can just do any just like spontaneous adventures like that. Because most of the time you have a plan, but I love, sorry, I keep hitting the mic. Sorry to my behind the scenes people. I keep hitting everything, but what was the like one of the more memorable like spontaneous maybe trips that you went on while you were through hiking?
Yeah. So, it's tough to say because like for me, almost the entire thing felt spontaneous, right? Because it was I usually had very little plan when I woke up in the morning. It was, you would get into a town, you would look ahead at where the next town was, you do a calculation like, all right, it's however many miles it'll take me 4 days to get there. And then next day you pack out, you leave, and then it's just kind of like I wake up, I look at what my next water source is, and then once it gets later in the day, I'm finding a place to camp. So it's almost that entire trip felt very spontaneous. One of my favorite memories would be just like when I was hiking with my friend Tink, who I'm actually about to go visit tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, we're just sweating up in Vermont. It was just like a 90-degree day, and we found this just like nice little pool in the river, and just jumped in and just like took a bath for like an hour, and it was so amazing. But yeah, you mentioned like all of like the trail magic that people set up, and yeah, just a huge shout out to all those people. Like it really blew my mind how many people were out there just giving away food or drinks or whatever else. And that felt really, really cool that all these people who like hadn't hiked or anything themselves were just thought it was cool that we were out there doing it and wanted to support us. So that was always really, really cool.
Very good. Also, what was the biggest fast food chain or like restaurant or like maybe drink, like beverage, like, I'm a huge Dunkin' Starbucks person. Like I am a caffeine fiend. So I know that like if I was on a trail for several months, the second I end up in anywhere somewhat urban, I would have been mad dashing to a Dunkin', despite how many listeners are on our feet. Shout out to Dunkin' Donuts, and also shout out to my favorite local coffee shop back home, Open Door Coffee and Rockford Roasting Company. Those shout out to my two favorite places back home. But I'm intrigued because I think it's interesting, like especially here, you know, when I'm taking these groups, they're only here for 7 days at like the absolute most, and I mean by day 2, people are practically crawling on the ceiling to get a slice of pizza or to go to McDonald's. So I can't even imagine for someone who was doing it as long, you know, such a amazing adventure, and for it, you know, as long as that, what is one thing that you were like, I have to get as soon as I'm back?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, town food for sure hits different. Like it's so exciting whenever you get back into town. I'd say like just about any Mexican restaurant was always like one of my favorite things to hit up because it's like, you know, the service is going to be fast. It's going to be cheap. You're going to get a bunch of chips at the beginning that you can just devour.
There you go.
Yeah. And then it's just like getting the biggest burrito that they have on the menu every time. And it's just, it always works. But the thing that I would say I got every time I got into town was I would always get a pint of ice cream.
There you go.
Yeah. Just because one, I love ice cream. It's the best. And then, yeah, it was, you know, you're just burning so many calories out there, and most trail foods, like it's a little bit harder to find something that's really high in fat. So I was like, this is for my health. Like I need these calories. I need this fat. This is healthy that I'm eating all this ice cream.
Oh, yeah. All right. I think that's a pro tip from Mr. Christian himself. Yeah. If y'all are through hiking the AT, y'all can eat as much ice cream as you want.
That's true.
There you go. There you go, everybody.
That might be somebody's motivation. Like, I'm gonna go out here and hike, and then I'm gonna go.
Definitely not mine, but sorry, I don't like dessert.
Well, here's a fun.
We're not the biggest dessert fan, I guess.
So once you get halfway through the AT, you're in Pennsylvania. There is a place where you can do the half-gallon challenge. So you've hiked half the AT, you need to eat half a gallon of ice cream. So there's just a little store there, and yeah, you just devour some ice cream. And so it's like you start off with like a bigger tub. I don't even know what the size is. Unfortunately, they didn't have just like a half-gallon tub, but yeah, and then there's like another pint that you eat after that.
Yeah, nice.
Oof.
No, I bet. Yeah, I mean, I am probably like not the greatest person to ask because I'm not the biggest ice cream fan, but more of like a cookie, you know, brownies, that kind of a. Those were like regular desserts. Well, that doesn't even
I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean, but I go heavy for those too. I unfortunately have like such a sweet tooth. Like anytime there's like food anywhere in the house, it's just if it gets opened, it gets eaten.
No, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like Oreos have never been in my like cabinet because they just get eaten before they can make it there. Yeah.
I really like Oreos. Like
Theo doesn't like Oreos.
What?
Okay.
Theo.
I don't dislike Oreos. I'm just so kind. I always give them away. You know?
Okay. I like that approach though. I like that approach.
Yeah. I will only eat Oreos if I have milk. I am a strong believer.
That is an elite combo though. Like that is an elite combo.
Right? It was meant to be.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I'll say the one thing I learned about Clifton, like whenever we were planning this all out, was for some reason we got on the topic of desserts. And
no, because you tell your story, and then I have to preface it a little bit because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
So this makes it so much funnier. Some
kind of like horrible like villain or something, but just say it.
So we were talking about because his birthday was coming up because the first episode was actually filmed on his birthday, and so we were like, man, we need to get you like a cake or something for your birthday, you know, to wish you happy birthday on the podcast. And then he just goes, yeah, I don't like cake. And so we thought about doing Clifton's cake reviews, but you know, I mean, who knows? We still might.
Let me preface this though. So they're probably not watching, but there is a really amazing Florida group from Stort, Florida that actually on my birthday that night, I literally had no idea what they were doing. They pulled me into the night hall just to chit chat about their day. And then I turn around and the whole troop was standing right behind me and surprised me with the birthday cake. And I will say that is one of the most kind, amazing gestures that like anyone has done for me. Like I appreciate that so much. If y'all are watching, like you don't even know how much that made my day. So like, don't take it personally. I just don't love.
I'm glad you shared that story because now I want you to turn around.
I just don't love cake. So
Behind the banner right
I
now,
know.
actually.
So my Florida group from week 1, y'all are awesome, and I'm so glad you had so much fun in our different program areas. Just please don't be mad because I loved the jester, and thank you for celebrating my birthday with me last week or the
Yeah.
other week. But
What about cookie cake though?
I like cookies.
But cookie cake,
Because
though.
my thing, like I love like going out and getting like a nice dinner.
Yeah,
and if I'm
politician.
still hungry after dinner, I don't want like dessert. I want to get like some more fries or something. Like I prefer like savory stuff. So like if I'm like hungry, I don't really want to get like more dessert. I want to get more food. Like I'd rather have like some more nuggets than a McFlurry, you know?
Yeah, I have to prevent myself from just eating all the sweets that exist before I've had dinner.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is hard. It is hard.
It can be hard though, because it's like I worked hard today. I deserve dessert first.
Yeah.
Right.
But then dessert turns into like dessert dinner, and then
Yeah.
would not recommend.
Yeah, especially out here, you gotta make sure you get your right nutrients
100%.
throughout the day.
Yeah. I mean, I wrestled in high school, so I was always cutting weight. So I just always tell myself like I've dieted enough, and I've been riding that train for like 13 years now. Just
So, speaking of food, though, I know this is a question that I asked him last week. What would you say is your favorite local like restaurant or attraction around here? But I say, Theo, I know that might take you a minute. I don't know how much you've been out and about.
I've not explored a whole bunch around here, but what was the place we did bingo? Oh, the at Ace. Am I allowed to bring them up? Rivals.
They're one of our.
Yeah.
They're literally one of our partners.
Yeah. I
Sweet.
mean, they do our
True.
river track.
That is true.
We literally
Yeah.
partner with them. I mean,
So,
we have a good relationship with them, so I don't
No,
see why.
can we cut that? Can we edit that out?
We are live.
we
No,
we
we-
are
we-
live.
All of our vendors that we partner with from Whitewater, we love you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no. But yeah, they hosted bingo night where they did like all you can eat pizza, and that was the bomb. I really like that.
Nice. If I had to recommend something for brunch, though, Wood Iron Eatery in
So
Fayetteville,
good.
their iced salted caramel latte is to die for, and I absolutely love their breakfast burrito.
Oh, actually, the spot that I really like is the chocolate mousse.
Oh,
Mm.
Yeah,
yes.
they got some good coffee, and then
Very great place.
But yeah, and then the rock climbing's fun, even though I'm very bad at it. And then mini golf
thought
is
you were having fun.
also very fun. Also very bad at it.
That's a tough question because I like to eat and I eat too much. But with that being said, I've been to a lot of places. I would say my number one favorite is Campestre. It's a Mexican place on Harper Road. Super good. Everything I've eaten there, A1, top
Really?
notch stuff. Oh yeah, they got that arroz con pollo and they put cheese sauce on it. It's crazy.
Ooh.
Goes
Mm.
hard. Yeah, and they give you chips like so fast, and you devour them, and they have this like spicy ranch, which is
Oh,
to die
yes.
for.
Oh,
So
very
good.
good.
So definitely highly recommend that. It's incredible, and I go there probably like every other week.
Really?
It's pretty
I'll-
good.
I'll say I don't remember what I said last week. I think last week I said the chocolate mousse, but I think that was like attraction because I talked about putt-putt.
attraction. I
think I also
said just like the gorge in general, because
Right.
the gorge provides just so much. It provides
That's true.
tourism and fun and amazing, and like the town of Fayetteville. Well, I mean, obviously Fayetteville existed exists without the gorge, but the fact that like the gorge brings so much life and tourism to Fayetteville, and helps these amazing local businesses stay alive is what makes it great. So
Absolutely.
we support local business at the summit.
Absolutely. I'm
Absolutely.
sorry, by the way, y'all. If I keep yawning, that like makes y'all feel like I'm bored. I promise you, I'm not. I'm just a little tired. had
We
I
all
won't
work at
say
the
long,
summit after
yeah.
all. I think we get it.
Oh,
About to say.
We're all hard workers here.
Oh yes, hard workers.
Hashtag Summit on.
Hashtag summit on. That's right.
There we go.
Hashtag
All right.
almost
And I
heaven.
think hashtag summit on is a perfect
Segway.
Yes. Thank you, Corey. It's a perfect segue to our next little segment.
segment that we have.
Excuse me, everybody.
He is on the struggle bus.
Yes, driving it, I guess, tonight. So I would love to shout out Wyatt from Aerial Sports and also Chris from our EMS and health and safety team. Both of them received our customer service award this past Monday. So we just wanted to shout out those two individuals. Chris has been here for many years, and he is just a super great slice of the summit. And Wyatt is new this year. He is also from California, and I have met him a couple times in program, and he is just a super fun, very friendly dude. So congratulations to the both of them for getting our customer service award.
Absolutely. So to kind of jump back in, I know we've like gone off on like 17 different side roads.
Welcome to any
That's what it's all about.
Welcome to any conversation when I'm in the room. Like
I was
we
about
gotta
to
go
say,
on tangents.
we
Like, who
gotta
are we?
go on side roads. If we're not, we're doing something wrong, right?
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
So, what would you say is your favorite thing about either the river or backpacking?
Oof.
I know I'm asking the
So-
hard hitters tonight.
I would say my favorite thing about the river, specifically having to do with the summit, is that a lot of people have never been whitewater rafting before that
Really?
come through our programs. And that is super exciting because I've only been on the New River twice. And let me tell you, it is so incredible, kind of scary sometimes, but that's what it's all about, right?
Oh
You
yeah,
want to got to live life on the edge a little bit. And it is super cool seeing those scouts like be really, really afraid and you know, it's really pushing their comfort zones. And then by the end of that day, it is just all smiles and giggles. It is just such an awesome, awesome thing to see them at the beginning of the day and then at the end of the day. And yeah, also swimming rapids. It's a lot of fun, intentionally and unintentionally. They're both fun. Sometimes you just end up in the water and you just you know, go with the flow, and yeah, it's a good time. Then you just hop back in the raft and keep on keeping on. So yeah,
I'll say that's one of the things that kept me like wanting to come back and keep working, even after I got my eagle, is like seeing how much just like one little interaction, you know, being out on the river or like whenever I was a merit badge counselor, you know, helping somebody complete a merit badge, or you know, at the end of the day, whenever you see like how excited and happy they are just because they were able to do that, I know that's one of the things that kept me in it and like made me like, all right, I want to keep going, because I know many people did it for me growing up, going through the ranks and whatnot. And so being able to put that back into scouting and to all these youth and participants that we have now, it's amazing.
I think a lot of people take the term like transformational experience for granted, or they think it's super cliche and it's just like something we say just to say it, but it's a real thing.
It is.
Definitely a real thing. And I think we do that through a lot of different things. You know, every single program that we have, you know, each one is unique, but every single one provides some scout with some new experience, whether that be, you know, just being to a camp for the first time, going on the river for the first time. Maybe they're taking the wood carving merit badge and maybe they'll fall in love with that. So every single thing that scouts do here is life-changing.
Oh yeah. So what about you, Christian? What would you say is your favorite thing about the river here or backpacking?
So there's like two main things. One is just like getting to hike the trail. I think we have a really cool trail that we get to hike. There's just some really cool sections of it. You know, we had a pretty crazy storm, like pretty much right before this whole season started. So there's like some pretty crazy blowdowns that are out there that's actually turned into like a really fun challenge, like also for the groups, bringing them out there and, you know, getting our youth leader to find like a good way to get around them and all that. And then, you know, we've got one section where it's just pushing through crazy like rhododendron where you're like I just have my trekking poles up in front of my face, just like trying to block from getting whacked in the face the whole time, getting through mud. And yeah, I've got a nice climb up at the end. A lot of people don't like that part, but I think it's a really fun climb. I like to just run up it, but yeah. But the other thing that I really enjoy about it is just getting to see the growth that the scouts have while out on trail, and just getting to like, you know, make those connections with everyone. Like I remember the first group that we took out, they like admitted to us at the end that there's like were not super excited that there was going to be 2 guides with them the whole time, because they, I think, had only done Philmont before, where it's just like the first 2 days you have the rangers, and then after that they're on their own. There's like, man, like who these people are going to be watching over us the whole time. But then at the end, there's like, we were so glad you guys came along, and like we had such a good time with you, and like that was like, you know, really really cool to hear. And then but yeah, just also like we had one kid who is our crew leader this past week on the trek that I just got back from today. And like starting off, like on our first day, he was so nervous and so shy. And like, you know, even just with simple stuff before we start hiking as a group, he would, you know, you're supposed to ask, is anyone not ready? And then say, all right, hiking. And then, but like, he was like almost afraid to ask, like, it was just everything for him was a little overwhelming. But then after, you know, a day and just like a little bit of encouragement, he just totally opened up and, you know, gained a lot more confidence to just, you know, try and make decisions and like not always look to me for every answer, but to, you know, not be scared to, you know, make mistakes, and then, you know, just be very open to feedback and willing to learn from them. So, yeah, just getting to see that growth is really, really exciting.
Absolutely. So, even though this is your first season here and this is your 8th season, so what would you say is your favorite thing about the summit, or for you, Theo, what's kept you coming back?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, probably my fellow staff members right now. I have met so many cool people here, and you know, it's just like a lot of folks that are like just my type of people, just outdoorsy people who are just up to get into cool activities. Where I can just hit someone up when I have my off day, just like, hey, let's go rock climbing or whatever else. So it's, you know, a lot of people that I really vibe with. And so it's always really important to have, you know, people around you that you like and that you enjoy. And I think, yeah, I've just really enjoyed the community here.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah, the staff here, the Blueberries, pretty awesome group. So I think one of the coolest things just is the number of doors that working at the summit opens.
Oh yeah.
Like I've been able to do so many things through working at the summit that I legitimately would probably never even get the opportunity to do if I did not work here. So like in the second season, in the fall, winter, and spring, we do a lot of cross training. So I've been able to do like aerial sports training, some of the shooting sports trainings, and all sorts of things like that, which is super cool. And I think it's a, you know, it's a great like resume builder for, you know, my future career, wherever that leads me. And it's also just so much fun to be able to learn new skill sets because, you know, not every camp is going to have such a like robust aerial sports program that we do. So being able to be here where we pretty much have like top of the line everything, it's so awesome to be able to interact with all those different program areas. And then, you know, we take it a step beyond just doing the training, but we actually get to deliver that program, right? So it's not just here, do this training and then forget it in a week. We're doing, all right, do this training and then, hey, you're going to lead participants doing this in a week, which is a really awesome thing. So I think it's just a really awesome time for staff and scouts because, like I said, not every, you know, council camp will have all of the different neat things that we do here, like canopy tours. I know that's pretty unique. And like our ATV program, that's also really unique. So whether you're staff or participant, I think the summit is just like, I mean, we're literally like our own little world in here. Once you go through the gates, it's like Jurassic Park. It's like this magical
Really is.
world that you can go to. And it's pretty awesome. And that's definitely what keeps me coming back is just, it's amazing.
Well, I say, especially being on 10,000 acres, I mean, you can almost get lost just trying to get through here. I know whenever I first come here last season, I'd have to like have somebody ride with me just to hold a map, and you'd be sitting in the car like this right here, going, all right, we're somewhere in this area right here, and you know,
Oh yeah.
and so it literally is like its own little city. But I mean, I always tell people it's quite possibly one of the most amazing and beautiful places that you can go.
Yeah.
Hands down, without
Yeah.
a doubt.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, don't know that. And a lot of
Right.
people don't come, which is why I think it's so cool that we have like Family Adventure Camp now, which is open to the public. And definitely, for the scouting groups, we've been trying to have more scouting groups come in the off season. So instead of, only being able to do the, very structured 5, 6, 7 day programs during the summer, if you want to come out for a weekend, like we can do that now in the off season. And definitely having it open to the public is really cool. And, with all the, now that we're like trying to dabble in music festivals and things like that, I think that's really neat direction to go in.
Which, speaking of music festivals,
I've been very excited to talk about this weekend.
I will say
I've been a little too excited to do a recap, but
we'll do a quick recap because I know I saw you there.
Yes, sir.
I know Clifton was there. Oh yeah, I'm about to say I figured you were there.
There we go.
And I personally have one of the best seats in the house, at least for the first 3 songs of every set, because media actually got to get in the photo pit, even for Tyler. So I mean, being able to be that close and you're standing right up against the subs, and so I mean, you're just
feel it in your bones.
About to say you feel it all the way head to toe, and I mean, you just see the expression on their face, because even though you see it on the big screens, whenever you're right there in front of them and you can see it on their face, it makes the concert like 10 times better.
Nothing beats Barricade. Like,
oh yeah, nothing.
As an avid concert goer, nothing beats that Barricade experience.
Unless you can get photo pit or side stage.
Yep.
But so let's talk about it. So Clifton.
Oh yes. Oh, I've been so excited to talk about this. So I am a huge concert goer. So like kind of
Likewise.
my 3 like facets in life are scouting, haunted houses, and Halloween, which we've already talked about, and concerts. So the fact that for one, well, I mean, granted, I've been to a good handful of jamborees, so that bridge was kind of there before, but the fact that like this was like kind of, not necessarily like incorporated to an event I was already going to, like a jamboree, something like that, was super exciting. I absolutely love this site and I love this property and I love the area. So I was super excited that we finally got to open the Summit to a whole new range of just people and everything. I know when I was just trotting around the festival, I didn't bring him with me this week. And maybe like next week we can insert some photos, but I brought around our little mascot, Pepperoni Roll, the black bear, and I'd imposed with some people, and a really fun just aspect of getting, being around the festival was just getting to meet so many new people. I mean, I talked to so many people from Virginia and the Carolinas, New York. I met a girl from New York who drove almost 9 hours to the festival that weekend just because the festival weekend plus camping was cheaper than getting resale tickets to see Tyler at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
So, and I just met people from all over, which was a super cool experience. And I absolutely love Tyler Childers and his music. So, I know me and Theo were hanging out for a majority of
we were crying together.
I know we were hanging out for a majority of the night, and we were right about in the 7th, 8th row. So that was just a super exciting view, getting to see everything. And like one kind of last thing about me is that I actually ended up getting a set list from that concert. So the fact I have, not to toot my own horn, I have a pretty decent amount of set lists and guitar picks from bands that I absolutely adore already, but but most of those are pretty regional acts, so it's pretty easy to kind of just like reach across and grab something. So it was just super exciting for me that finally, after this like really awesome day, spending it with other seasonal staff and just meeting so many amazing people throughout the weekend, and then just kind of like having that set list as like the ultimate souvenir at the end of the night was a really cool experience for me. I think I have a picture of it. I know we can't insert it because we are live, but it is a certified jump scare. So congratulations, Blueberry season viewers, because I'll flip it in a second, but he's excited. I can like hold it a little closer to the camera, but I was absolutely excited to get a Tyler Childers set list. So yeah, I got the set list, so that was super exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But nonetheless, Tyler Childers, amazing performer. I think lots of fun was had over the weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I am super excited. I hope we can continue events like this in the future, because I think it's super great outreach and a super cool experience to be able to bring, just so many wonderful people to our site.
I'll say one thing that was really cool to see is so during the song In Your Love, we actually got to see a couple get engaged. So that was
Wow. How exciting.
so our boss, the media team's boss, he got tipped off by a guy, and he was like, "Hey, in case you wanted to get pictures or something like that, I guess." He was like, "I'm gonna propose to my," or no, I remember what it is. No, I was telling you a completely wrong story. Anyway, no, so a guy would come up to him, ask him, "Hey, would you happen to know the set list? You know, is Tyler playing a certain song?" And so he was like, "Actually, I actually might be able to do that." And so he called one of his people, and they were like, "Well, actually, I just printed it." And so that was one of the coolest things to watch because, you see it on TV or the news or people's story all the time or TikTok or, whatever you watch stuff on. But like actually getting to see, it was actually
That's
pretty
pretty
cool.
incredible.
It was pretty cool. So that was
Transformational experiences.
even here at
There
this
we
moment,
go.
Tyler Children's here. We're still providing transformational experiences to everyone involved.
Maybe he wants a job. You can come work here.
Tyler,
He can come back and play anytime.
Absolutely.
Summit
Mr. Tyler
band.
Chillers, if you want to come back to the Summit, you can play here anytime.
Absolutely. We will welcome you.
I do not handle the booking, so sorry to our booking team, but please welcome Mr. Tyler Chillers back anytime.
Oh, absolutely. So what about y'all? What like give us y'all's like little recap.
Yeah, so I was super excited when I found out that he was coming. He's easily one of my favorite artists, and just yeah, so I remember bugging Theo about like, hey, because we have 2 different trek days. We have like the Friday trek and we have the Saturday trek. And like, put me on Saturday trek. So because that means we leave Sunday. And if we leave Sunday, that means I get to see Tyler Saturday night. And yeah, so the day before I went to the I guess like the Friday night show, which was also sweet. I saw Abby Williams, I think was her name. She was really good. And then
I believe it's actually Abby Hamilton.
Abby Hamilton.
I think it's
yeah,
Abby
shout
Hamilton.
out to her. Yeah, thank you for correcting that because she was really good. So big shout out to her. And then Jocelyn and the Sweet Compression. Oh man, they killed it. They were really, really good. Then I wanted to stick around for the last set that night, but I was really tired, and I knew the next night was going to be a late night, and I was going to have to head out on track the next day. But yeah, so Saturday, my crew shows up. We do their shakedown. We do a little practice hike. I have dinner with them, get them situated, and then I'm sprinting out the door to go see Tyler. But yeah, like I make it in time. Just meet up with some of my friends. We're up on the hill. As much as I would have loved to have been like down in the mosh pit, not mosh pit. It's a country concert, but
the pit nonetheless.
The
I mean, the standing room. Yeah,
pit,
there we go.
I would have been dancing the entire night because I love to dance, and I had to hike the next morning. So I was like, I need to be responsible and just chill and enjoy the music. But it was amazing. I was streaming tears when he played Follow You to Virgie. That song is so beautiful and touching and gets me every time. I love you, Tyler.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But say he played. I mean, like I said, just being able to be down there, like pretty much right in front of him, and just like see the emotion, like it was.
He gets into it.
Yeah,
He really does.
Yeah, he's a crazy good performer. That was the first time I'd ever seen him live. It was unreal.
I think one of my favorite things that he done is he had just got done playing "Rustin' in the Rain," and he was like, "So this is the title track this is the title track of the album." And they call it a title track whenever the name of the track is the title of the album. And so that now makes it the title track of the album. And I was just like, I was like, man, I would have been sitting here all night wondering. I loved it though. He's so good in his stage presence. Is just incredible. One of the best I've seen.
And his band too was absolutely fantastic. I cannot.
Piano player with
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I know. I don't think I can even stress enough like how awesome his band was. I mean,
the
they, like,
hair on the bases.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
in of
god.
itself, that was just like an experience. And then, having him and the whole band, it was incredible.
But I say his what do they call it? Like an upright bass? That,
Yeah,
a string
the
bass.
cello.
Yeah, string bass. Yeah, cello. Whatever you
Tip it on
call
the
it.
side, cello. It's a bass.
Man, he got real into it.
Yeah.
Man, he'd get to hitting that bass, and even whenever I had to get out of the photo pit and I was back a couple rows, even just looking down there, you see them strings going crazy. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's rocking and rolling. So Theo, what was your favorite part of the concert?
Oh man, I mean, Clifton mentioned earlier that concerts at the Summit, we're used to the scouting crowd for like jamborees, which is
Mhm.
absolutely incredible to see all those scouts come together. But I mean, it was also super cool to see like the public come out to the Summit, and I got so many comments about how cool the Summit was, and honestly, I think that was the coolest part was being able to see all those people that didn't even know the Summit existed or like what they were signing up for. Like when they got here, I'm sure they had zero expectations, and like talking to those people and having them come out here and just like realize that like jaw dropping moment of like, whoa, this is like a legit place.
Yeah.
That's not just a big field. Well, we have lots of big fields, but we
do.
also have a lot of other stuff.
a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that was really neat. And I mean, just the spot where we have the Summit Stadium right there in front of the lake is just
Yeah.
so
Oh,
gorgeous
yes.
with the water there.
Beautiful view.
And it is just, the best vibes,
Oh,
most chill, beautiful time. And yeah, obviously the music was incredible. I love the outdoor concerts, the nice cool air and all the people. And it was a great crowd too. Super good vibes. Everyone was super nice and kind. And I know like a couple of the artists like stopped the shows so like EMS could get through. I know a couple of people, it was pretty hot, so a couple of people were passing out and stuff, but like everyone was super nice, respectful, and so that was just cool to see. I love nice people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's why I always have a smile on my face.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to piggyback on that was like I remember when I also first realized that the concert was being there, I was like, dang, this is actually such a sick venue for a concert.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, because like not only do you have like the full concert experience, but there's so much other stuff that you can go do, like riding zip lines and stuff. Like I was talking to our staff that was working zip lines, like, oh yeah, we were like zipping down band members and stuff, and like it's so cool. And then also, I don't know if y'all noticed, but if you looked up, because like where our the amphitheater is there's the two of the zip lines are right there, and we had staff like clipped up on the zip lines, like hanging out in their hammocks for that whole concert, which was just like such a cool thing to see, just like the people up there hanging out. And I know a lot of like the visitors who didn't know the Summit got a really big kick out of that.
Oh yeah. And by the way, if you're not able to do that, that was totally a joke. They were not hanging out in hammocks on the zip line, but if they're not able to do that, which I don't see why not. I mean, they were harnessed in properly.
They were harnessed. They were clipped in. They had press X. They took all the proper.
Oh yes.
All the proper
they were like
precautions.
doing it completely safely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And if they weren't allowed to do that, it was not our staff.
Yeah.
I think they got permission. They are all very professional,
Absolutely,
extremely qualified individuals. So if you are ever nervous about our aerial sports, don't be, because I personally have gone on our big zip almost 40 times, I realized today. And I'm still here, folks. And our aerial staff is wonderful and very professional. So
yeah, I wanted to give a big shout out to them actually, because one of the cool things we do at the end of our pack and paddle trek is on the last day, which was for me today, when we get back, we have lunch, then everyone has some time to shower, and then we go and do the big zip, which is a really just fun way to end the program. And both times I've gone and done it now, I've had people in my crew that were just super nervous about it and just like, I don't know, that's like really big, and it's like I'm not good with heights. And the staff there just handled it so well and just calmed everyone down, just really walked them through it, made them feel good and made them feel safe. And every single person that I went with ended up having such a good time and really enjoying it. So shout out to the staff there.
Absolutely. So our time guy's yelling at me that we're getting close to our time. So I'm going to ask one more quick question, just real quick. So what would you say is the thing that you miss most about home? If you chose one thing, What do you miss most about home?
I'm sure this is a popular answer. I miss my dog a lot.
Yes, we had been over
Um,
this before.
her name-
For me personally.
Her name is Scout.
Oh,
Not actually, surprisingly, not like Boy Scouts of America Scouts. It's actually named after the character from To Kill a Mockingbird, my dad's favorite book. But Scout is an amazing dog. I miss you very much, Scout. She is crazy. She has absolutely endless energy, and she likes to lay on my bed, which is awesome. She gets my my sheets all hairy and stuff, so that's really cool. But yeah, she is an amazing dog. I miss her very much, and every time I go home, she is ecstatic to see me. It is awesome. Yeah, so definitely dog.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it'd be like my friends and my family, shout out mom and dad. I love you guys. And then, yeah, my friends who are in that North Carolina area as well. It will be tough. It's, always difficult when you're not gonna be able to see people for a whole summer and all that. But yeah, looking forward to when I get back in that area.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, so that is all the time we've got. My time guy's still yelling at me. We're probably about to run over time right now, actually.
Let's just keep pushing.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
can't kick us out of here.
I mean, technically he could just end the stream.
Yeah.
But so make sure you're going to go to, or not going to go, make sure you go to store.summitbsa.org to get your merch. Be sure to use the discount code Blueberry Season.
And season is spelled SZN.
Yep.
So blueberry and then SCN for season.
So make sure you go get that 25% off discount, get you some cool Summit merch. So that way, whenever you wear it around the house or wear it around town, I guess not around the house, but whenever you wear it around town, you can tell all your friends and people about the amazing place called the Summit Bechtel Reserve, because we want to see each and every one of you here as much as we possibly can. And make sure, if you're not already doing so, make sure you follow us on all of our platforms on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and there's probably one I'm missing right now. I know it's bad for media not to know all these off the top of my head.
Man, Corey, come on.
But make sure you follow us on all of our platforms, so that way whenever Blueberry Season comes out every week, you're able to come and watch it. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week at 7 p.m. So, bye guys.